Okay, here we are. Akvila's given me a session on this has to do with quiet mind and how to quiet the mind and stop thinking, and also how to. It has steps toward uh, improving the ability to be here now with less thinking, and uh, also to understand ego and how to stop creating the ego or being the ego self, or just a better understanding of the whole subject. So I took on, sort of took on too much, but so I couldn't do this solo. I needed Akvila's help on this. So we're going to address the ego in a new way and quiet mind in a new way. This is an effort to help me stop thinking like I'm addicted to thinking, like most people are, and also it takes thinking to think the ego into existence. You think, therefore you are, kind of thing. You only exist as a self because you think you do. When ultimately it's about consciousness and awareness, considering or thinking itself as an individual. Anyway, so that's all. Back to you. Back to that first question we started to do.
Right, so what does thinking you exist mean exactly?
Thinking I exist means considering that there is a beingness with awareness here, not just beingness and awareness, but being, I guess, separate and distinct from someone else or other things. I am not all things, I am me, kind of thing. I exist as yeah, about that.
Alright, so what might be some of the reasons for thinking that you exist?
Well, I'm here. I see the walls. I see myself or my body, and I think I'm here. So why not? The logical conclusion would be that I do exist. If that which is around me exists, then he who or that which is looking at what does exist, shouldn't that also exist? It would make it nice and tidy and neat. And yeah, that makes sense. Because if otherwise, it's just, looking at everything that does exist, and that which is, there's nothing looking at it. That's not right. That's fucked up. That's like fucked up thinking. That's illogical.
Alright, so is thinking you exist new to you?
Now that's weird too, because yeah, but no. Yeah, it's new in that I never really thought about it before. I never thought about it before. Thinking I exist. Well, duh. Oh, but on the other hand, apparently, I've thought about this before. I've thought myself into existence before, if that's how it works. If you don't think you exist, do you exist? Anyway, so another reason for doing this kind of spiritual work, Akvila can give you a session on this if you want. It's only like I don't know, it's pretty. Yeah, go over to richwest.net. Dude, you're not supposed to be selling your shit. You're supposed to be getting a session. I know. Sorry. But I might upload this. I. But so another reason for doing this kind of work is to get great insights and self-realization on who and what you think you are, And how did you come to be? And what does being mean anyway? And how is it experienced from an experiential level? And what's to be aware of if there's nothing there? If there is no self to be aware of, how can you know or be aware or conscious that you are? You don't. You can't. It doesn't work that way. Really? That's what they say in the books. You know, that's what you hear. So this is a personal exploration into one's own belief systems as regards who and what they are relative to what everything else is. Wow. And I couldn't do this by myself, my own personal self. I needed Mila's self over there helping.
Okay. So what does thinking you exist suggest?
Well, it suggests that I do. I mean, if somebody's thinking it, well, it suggests somebody is doing the thinking. That's a little deeper than it sounds. That's just like in here, it's going like implode. Because if somebody's thinking it, does that mean that there has to be a somebody to do the thinking? And if there's thinking going on, consciousness is creating a somebody to do the thinking so that the thinking can happen? Because if there's, then reverse engineer that. If there is no thinking, is there no somebody, no self, no someone thinking it? This is fucking hilarious.
It is.
Hmm.
Okay. So is thinking you exist supposed to somehow help you get by?
Well, yeah. oh, fuck. You got to get one of these sessions. Don't ask me to do it. I invented the session, these questions, but I'm over it. I'm done with it. But I feel like she'll give you a session. She's over here. No, she's not. She's a real good auditor, by the way. Auditor means listen. And so, yeah, she's just sitting over there listening, asking us questions. You could have your mother do this with you. Here, mother, ask me these questions. Good luck with that. I would be an exceptional listener.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. So, is thinking that you exist supposed to somehow help you get by?
Oh, I didn't weasel out of that question. I tried to weasel. Does thinking I exist somehow help me get by? Well, yeah. Yes, it does. Because thinking I exist kind of helps, whether I exist or not, thinking I do helps. Don't you think so? Wouldn't you think the same thing? Wow, this is fun.
It is.
Yeah.
Good.
Next question.
Sure. So, what might thinking that you exist be keeping you from doing?
Well, there's knowing and perception. You perceive and thus know, right? You know because you saw it, you perceived it, and so, but you got this knowing, and you got consciousness, being conscious of that which is perceived and thus known. So that's a thing over here, but over here is thinking about it, and then there's attention. So one has so much attention right now available to them. And when one is thinking, their attention is engaged or involved in the thinking. So when you're thinking about something, your attention is being utilized or used up or used on the thinking. And so now you are less into perception. You're knowing less. Your attention isn't on what you know. Your attention is on what you think or what you're thinking. What was the question again?
Yeah. What might thinking you exist be keeping you from doing?
Knowing, being aware. And when there is that awareness, it's just the consciousness in a state of knowing and awareness. Literally, in the moment, in and now, it can be experienced. There's no me, there's no I, there's no, there's no thinking. It's just there's an awareness of whatever the awareness is of, and that's all you got. You don't have a me. You don't have an I like that. Because you just had a thought, and the thought was, I like that, and you thought the I or the me or the self or the ego, which is the ego, you just thought yourself into existence. So thinking brings on the thoughts about who and what a person is, and thus it becomes so by virtue of thinking it is. That whole I think therefore I am.
All right. What does thinking you exist allow you to do?
Be me. And there's that song by Sammy Davis Jr. I gotta be me. It's a great song. It will compel anybody to be their ego self. I, me, I, me, all about me. I'm better than them, not as good as them. I wish I was better than that. I, me. I, God bless America. Or whatever country you have strong affiliations with.
Okay. Does thinking you exist ever make you do things you don't want to do?
Well, this is the fact of thinking. Whether thinking I exist or thinking what to have for lunch, the thinking causes me to what was the question?
Does thinking you exist ever make you do things you don't want to do?
Yeah, I think it leads me down a path. I start thinking about something, and I'll think, and then I'll think more, and I'll trigger my shit, and I'll get all emotional or worried, concerned, afraid, angry, pissy, grouchy, grumpy, depressed. I'll get something, and then I'll do something to solve the bummer, the grouch, the anger, the fear, the whatever. I might do something like yell and shout or throw a coffee cup against the wall. Oops. Or I might, I'll go eat a biscuit or something with honey on it. And that won't do it. So now I got to go eat, some other junk food that will, as an effort to change my mood. Because I inadvertently, accidentally, start thinking down a path that got my shit stirred. I stirred my shit up. I, being the ego self, stirred ego self's shit up. But as consciousness, there is the ability to choose not to go down that path that the self that you believe or think yourself to be is starting to go down. Oh, we were going to go to the beach today and it's fucking raining. That's just two ego selves together. Whoa, don't. Stop right there. And instead of going, what'd I do? What'd I say? Did I say something wrong? Don't go there. That's all thinky shit. Don't do that. It's like just choice. Stop. Don't. And so you get that still mind, that stillness, that quietness. And Agvila can do this really good. It's like, she's very misunderstood in that way. It's like, who does that? It's taken me a long time to understand. Is it okay if I talk to her? Yeah. But yeah, she's good at that. And I'm like, late. I almost missed the train. That horse. Catch the train quick. That train of thought. No way. Whoa, wrong train. I go metaphorically now, but that's I could do that. Me. There's that whole thing of like, don't go there, and you can. There's that that choice not to go there, and then you can experience that. And with practice, when you practice quiet mind, be here now, awareness, consciousness, lifting consciousness up, letting go of, or denouncing thought or denouncing thinking. It's not all over. Life is not over because no more thinking. No. What happens is you're like, whoa. And there's seeing, there's smelling. You smell that? It smells nice. And what is that? Touch, feel. Ooh, that feels good. What is that? Did you see that? Oh, well, that's talking to an ego self. Did you see that? More appropriately would be if you're walking with somebody and you're both practicing this quiet mind, be here now, and no ego and no thinking. Everybody's just looking, and they're not even everybody looking. It's just like looking. You go, look there. Could you imagine two people spending the day together and not using the word I, we, me, you, them, theirs, ours, us, or any of those sort of words? The whole goddamn day, it's going to be, look, touch that, eat this, shut up. Shut what up? Shut its trap. Oh my goodness. There, I went off sideways. So, this is fun. This is great exploration of consciousness and thoughts about self.
All right. So is there anything you like about thinking you exist?
Yeah, it's a familiar tune. It's like, oh, that feels good. I like that. There's a drill. I heard about this drill, and I practice it for 3 minutes at a time, or 5 minutes, of not saying the word I or me for 5 minutes. Then I had to include you, because I'd be talking to somebody else. You, or you, or And then I expanded on them, theirs, they. I tried it. It's weird. It was like, it's enlightening, but it's like there's an addiction to thinking when I stop thinking for a moment. It's so empty. I don't like empty. I like full of talking.
Okay. So have you ever made any assumptions about thinking you exist?
Well, I assumed that too. Whoa. Wow.
Okay. And what kind of circumstances are you most likely to be thinking you exist?
I guess in circumstances where I'm asked about myself existing, do you really exist? How do you know? I'm here, aren't I? I don't see you. I'm right here. I see your body. Well, look into my eyes. Do you see the soul? No. Well, I'm right here. I'm assuming. I've never seen myself either. Well, did you feel yourself? No. Well, then how do you know you are here? I just know. Oh, I see. I don't know, man. I'm just talking here.
Okay. So what is thinking you exist supposed to do for you?
Make me feel good about myself. Makes me feel like I'm relevant. Somewhat more than insignificant or unexistent, non-existent. The non-existent self. The power. There, put the word power in front of that now. It'll sell. The power of the non-existence. I'll buy that. What the fuck are all these giggles about? Laughing, goofing and stuff. That's emotional charges releasing from somewhere.
Okay. So if you were not thinking you exist, would things be better?
Not for me, but for the world at large. The world would be better without me. Well, yeah. That's just not right. I'm important. I can make contributions. Wow. What was the question again?
If you were not into thinking you exist, would things be better?
Why is that funny? If you didn't think you exist, would things be better? Oh, that's fucking funny. Whoa, that's a lot of charge on that. Look, he's starting to cry. Look, everybody, Rich is crying. Rich went for dinner, crying like a fucking baby. No, he's laughing. He's not crying, he's laughing. Oh, shit. What's wrong with him? Could you ask me that again? That's a pretty fucking weird question. It's like,
Sure.
Get ready. Try number 3.
If you're not into thinking fuck. Sorry. If you were not into thinking you exist, would things be better?
Again, please.
If you were not into thinking you exist, would things be better?
Again, the first question comes up, for who? But would things be better? Well, they couldn't possibly be better for me if I was, because that would that wouldn't make sense. So if I didn't think I existed, would things be better for what? If I didn't exist, would anything else exist? Well, if I am the ego and the ego is somehow I get rid of the ego or dissolve the ego or don't create the ego, and the ego I don't exist, well, there's still consciousness and awareness looking at all that exists. Oh, look at all this stuff. Where's Rich? Left the building. Ego left the building. There's a video title for you. When ego left the building, faked his own death. Oh man, no, never mind. Conspiracy theories. Okay, wow, that was fun. I'm lightheaded as can be. This is like crazy. I gotta check something here. Just a second. I'm still here. Okay. Yeah, I guess we're okay. Yeah. Cut it out. What are you doing? Oh, damn it. Just fucking with me. I am still here. God damn it. I thought I was going to get rid of myself. No. 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 Not happening. Not yet. You're still here. Don't worry about it. Anyway, sorry. Okay. What I wanted to fix, I fixed. It's all fixed.
Okay. So how can you use thinking you exist?
How can I use thinking I exist? Well, I don't think about it very often, but it's like, there's just certain things we don't think about very much. And you wish you wish somebody hadn't reminded you about it. I mean, trying to forget about that thing. And then somebody reminds you that you exist. Can we just talk about lunch? What's for lunch? Whether I exist or not. It's fucked up. Of course I exist. And I do exist. And I will always exist. Wait. That's just too much. That's mind fuck. Don't even want to contemplate that, whether I exist or not. Damn.
Okay. So what kind of people are into thinking you exist?
Well, there's what kind of people thinking I exist. Or I guess anybody you ask that has, that's looking at me, people that are looking at me, they're not even going to be thinking about the kind of people that are listening to the question, does Rich exist, while they're looking at Rich. They watch a video. Does Rich exist? They see the video. No, that's defect. Yeah. That's Arnold Schwarzenegger doing impressions. Bill Hayden doing impressions of this guy he saw on the internet once. Deepfake. But what kind of people think they exist? As like people like me that think I exist? What kind of other kind of people would think that they exist? I don't think people think about that much. They don't think about that very much. I don't think they do. It's not a good idea.
Okay.
Okay, next question.
Alright, so what might thinking you exist be taking the place of?
Silence. Stillness. Knowingness, consciousness, awareness.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, next question.
Right. Could you let go of thinking you exist?
I don't think the I that I think I am could let go of thinking itself does not exist. But can, God, I just had a realization.
Really?
This universal release method, well, with this item specifically, let's see. Yeah, this entire universal release method, what doesn't matter what the item is asking the ego questions. So the ego is always being recognized and acknowledged as existing in order to just answer the questions. What do you like about thinking you exist? You know, yeah, this is the ego asking the ego. You know, when you do this on yourself, it's the ego asking itself questions about itself. You can never get rid of the ego while doing this fucking technique. What the fuck are we doing this for? This won't work. What? Broke it. I think we broke it. Be careful, you might break it. When you break the ego. Whoa.
Alright. Does it seem like your item is releasing?
Well, it seems like the ego's item is releasing itself. No, I think we're breaking it. It's mm-hmm. Alrighty then.
You had any thoughts there?
Yeah, I think this is a good place to realize it's a good time to wrap it up, be done on this. Yeah, shift in understanding consciousness and reality and awareness and stuff. And all that crazy talk I've been doing for the last, I don't know how long. Quieted down. But, it's like ego is in layers and levels, like Russian dolls, item bubble within a bubble within a bubble within a bubble. And I'm sure that's not the only way to look at this or understand it, but there's more quiet in the mind right now. The mind is settled down and not being such a mouth about it. There's an awareness in it and an appreciation for the quiet mind. A step closer to no mind or completely no thinking is, could you just be fucking quiet for about 5 fucking minutes? Most, unless you're sleeping, and even then probably, but most people's mind, they did not shut the fuck up 5 goddamn minutes in their entire life. What a relief, when finally, shh. Now, I'm not saying I can do it. And you're not going to have to sit here and I'll show you. I can prove it that I can be quiet for 5 minutes. You don't care, Rich. But yeah, great insights. And this would be a good place to end off. It's still me, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to another session about me and how I can get rid of myself. Ooh, I'm so excited about that. I can hardly wait. What happens after that? I don't know. I haven't thought about that. Anyway, good stuff. Wow, I feel pretty good. Thank you for the session.
Welcome.
Yeah, wow, that's good stuff. If you'd like a session from Agvila, go over to richwest.net. And she's got a thing over there. Sessions and tutoring by Agvila. Check it out. She can do this on Skype with you. I may not be here. But yeah, thank you for watching. Okay, talk to you later. Bye-bye. And thank you for the session.
Welcome.
Mm-hmm.